There's this strange pattern happening at Sephora. A couple of guys hanging around doing the same thing. Not inside their stores, but right outside. And this is the same across different stores, different regions, and across different species. It really makes me wonder what is going on inside Sephora.
The retail sector has seen unprecedented upheaval over the last several years.
The department store genre is dead.
The store is dead, but long live the store.
There's growth out there, but it's not in the department store space. That space continues to be very, very difficult.
It's not that the classic heritage brands are gone, it's just that the playing field has completely changed.
But Sephora is surging.
Sephora was named Retailer of the Year at the 2018 World Retail Congress.
Sephora is betting that its physical stores remain important.
More than 60 new freestanding stores in the U.S. this year. That's on top of about 200 mini stores that Sephora will open in Kohl's department stores. Combined, that makes the company's biggest U.S. expansion in 21 years.
How is that possible when everyone else is struggling? And my first guess is social media.
Social media has changed it dramatically, whereas it used to be organizations and companies dictating what consumers would see, and now it's social first. And the consumers are telling us what they need and what they want, and they're very vocal.
It is time for a little Sephora.
But I have a really nice Sephora haul right here.
$700 for my Sephora shop.
Crazy. If we compare Sephora with Ulta, Costco, Lululemon, and Amazon on TikTok, Sephora has so much more content online.
If you're not capturing that consumer with social media newness, you're not going to be in the mind of the consumer today.
But why do we have so many Sephora hauls to begin with? And it makes me question, maybe social trend is a result of something else. And this something else is the ultimate underlying engine that no one figured it out yet. And after I took a deep dive into what's really going on here, I realized my first guess was not even close to the reality of Sephora's unusual success. How Sephora started was actually quite simple. Back in the days, prestige beauty brands were only sold at department stores through a high-touch counter model. Mass beauty brands, on the other hand, were sold at drugstores under a self-served open model. And because there was nothing in between, that's where Sephora came in, using the drugstore model to sell prestige brands. So their stores back in the early 2000s looked kind of like a drugstore. It was very uniform in terms of color, spacing, and layout. This is the classic grid layout. It emphasizes speed and convenience. But that changed in 2010. They've got a lot more colors in stores, it became more spread out and open. You can tell they're moving towards more of a free flow layout, which allows exploration and makes customers visit more parts of the stores. But here is the future.
We are on a path to renovate every single one of our stores over the next 5 to 6 years. We're calling it the Future Footprint Project.
This future concept store has actually been tested in Asia for the last 3 years. And these future stores have more low tables, lots of bright, colorful fixtures for brand storytelling, and the layout is pretty much broken up with lots of micro zones. This is a maze layout. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's designed to trap people. That way customers will have to spend more time inside the store, and it makes wandering around feel like treasure hunting.
And I think Sephora at the end of the day is a place of discovery. And I think our stories, it comes to life in our stores.
But the big downside of this layout is their selection. It's not hard to tell this more playful layout is a lot less space efficient than this one. And if their store size doesn't change, Sephora will have to shrink the selections to cater for this new future layout. And this is the biggest thing I overlooked, which I only found out after comparing a typical Sephora store with Ulta and Walmart supercenters. Sephora has the superpower to carry more units per square foot than both of them. Now that's huge because retail is all about maximizing one thing. That is sales per square foot. Because sales per square foot equals to SKU per square foot times sales per SKU. And that's basically SKU density times product conversion rate. That means the SKU density right here matters a lot. And when it comes to SKU density, Sephora is extremely lucky. It's hard not to tell they sell the tiniest stuff. So then they can play around with their store fixtures and still fit a lot in. But what matters even more is this side of the equation. And this is really the fun side of the equation because there's so much more you can do to improve your conversion rate.
Smart, experiential, digitized stores work.
And then there's so much technology that you can have in the store now. You know, that's an opportunity to bring in a full sensory experience with that smell and sound and visuals, and having that opportunity to kind of have a 360 experience with the product.
Sephora does all that and more.
And the reason for that, and they continue to be so successful, is our people, hands down. Our beauty advisors are our secret sauce. From day one, it's been unbiased. They're not commissioned. They're highly educated and trained.
Having said all that, when I looked into Sephora's interest over time in the States, their interest got wild around this period and kind of peaked in 2017, and that made me want to dig deeper into what's really going on that year. Dun, dun, dun. Well, now that...
Here we are with the creator of Fenty Beauty, Rihanna.
That she just released her makeup line. It is making headlines all over the internet.
A huge round of applause to Fenty Beauty, Rihanna, for thinking of all skin tones.
Fenty was the first brand that solved the shade problem in the industry. It was wildly successful, and Sephora got a huge boost out of it by being the exclusive partner. And clearly, that exclusivity played a huge role for Sephora. So I went back to check Sephora's interest in more details, going through the rising topics year by year. Very quickly, I noticed a pattern. For the last decade, Sephora's popularity was mostly driven by indie brands and their exclusive brand partners. But after digging into some of these brand partners, I realized I had Sephora completely wrong. Their brand partnership was never a one-way street. Sephora didn't just ride the indie wave, they built it and actually helped these small brands grow.
For us, it really is a partnership, and we don't say vendor, we say brand partner. That there's a reason for that. And I think it really starts with Sephora's DNA. So thinking back to when we first came to the US, at that time, it was really about department stores, and it was really hard to get brands to come to Sephora.
If we can't work with the Lauders and the L'Oreals of the world, we'll go out and find the brands that don't have a stage to sell their product. And we built indie brands. Half of our business, half of our sales come from brands that are exclusive and limited to Sephora. That's power.
They feature new indie brands prominently across their website, social account, sampling program, and on their next big thing wall.
So they have to hit it big while they live on this wall in order to then make it to this style of a gondola.
Take Glow Recipe. It went from the next big thing in 2017 to Sephora's #1 indie brand today.
Partner with them very closely, Sephora peeps, on packaging as well. They're really in the kitchen with you if they believe in the brand.
The brand founder is the chef, right? And we're here to help the chef make the best souffle they possibly can.
And on top of that, Sephora has been backing up-and-coming founders through the incubator program. They've been doing that for a very, very long time.
We work and incubate, and there's a general life cycle, which is at some point these brands will grow, they'll get larger, they'll want to increase their distribution, they'll get acquired by somebody else, and then we move back to another cycle. Our opportunity and challenge is, how do we delay that? How do we work with the founders to give them growth within Sephora globally, so that we maintain that exclusive and limited? And what are we doing to incubate the brands in behind, so that we're not surprised the day in which a particular brand elects to go and broaden their distribution?
But what makes Sephora most valuable is actually pretty simple. Most of these indie brands are digital native, and Sephora is the only beauty retailer with stores in 35 countries. That is a huge unmatched advantage. And when you put them together, 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Let me quickly map it out. It starts with Sephora's exclusive brand partners creating a ton of buzz on social. Sephora then multiplies it with its own social posts and their armies of micro-influencers. All that hype then pushes people into stores and onto their app.
Sephora also just rolled out an influencer-forward platform called Sephora Storefront, where creators share recommendations and make commissions.
Sephora is now betting on influencers and their storefront. So they know customers don't just want to see a product. They want to see how people are using it, and they want to see it in real life.
But I can see one potential weak link in this entire system. After testing the products in store, people can skip Sephora and order straight from the brand's website. And if that happens, everything we talked about, like the entire ecosystem, would not work. So Sephora can't let that happen. But how? Now, when the product is the same, the price is exactly the same, what matters next is shipping and returns. Sephora's shipping policy is gold standard. They offer free same-day shipping, but the brand needs me to hit a $50 minimum order for free shipping, and then it takes 1 to 3 business days to pack and another 3 to 5 business days to ship. And if I want to return the item for any reason, Sephora lets me return for free, no extra fees, no drama, but the brand, most brands I would say, won't cover the return shipping fees.
What we aspire to do is to delight customers better than anyone else.
He's right, because on top of that, we haven't even touched on the Beauty Insider Rewards program. And we don't need to, because Sephora already wins by a mile. Another thing about these brands is they all have a shelf life because of this thing. Remember how huge Kylie Cosmetics was back in 2016? And that was before TikTok. Now with how fast things blow up on TikTok, they fade even faster.
You see celebrities like Rihanna, Selena Gomez, and Hailey Bieber who are really driving the biggest trends. Those brands will have a product go completely viral on TikTok and then sell out at Sephora overnight.
It's also never been easier to launch a beauty brand. That means the hot brands today can easily be replaced by the next trend or the one after. That's probably a big reason why LVMH decided to sell their stake in Fenty Beauty this year. But Sephora is in a completely different position. Their model is built to catch every new trend and make the most out of it. And it's hard to copy what they do. The distribution network is expensive to copy. So while brands rise and fall, Sephora can just keep riding wave after wave. But you know what? Sephora is just a tiny slice of this guy's luxury empire.